Hey, Roger.
What's up, Phil? How's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing good, buddy. Doing good. Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
I'm loving that background image, man.
I know. I love it. Can't wait to go back.
Oh man, where's that? Is that? Let me see here. Where is that?
That's Belize.
Oh man, lucky.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Where's that? What's up, Max?
Hey, hello. How are you?
How's it going, buddy? So we all know we have that big game going on. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see the turnout of who shows up here. Hopefully we got a good turnout. We'll give it a couple minutes. I'm actually prepping my stuff that I'm going to be going through here. So just give me a couple minutes. I'm just going to mute myself for a little bit while everybody pops in. See, we got, what's up, Jane? How you doing?
Fabulous, wonderful.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for joining us. And we got JP. What's up, JP?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Hold on, I'm wrapping up a meeting right now.
Go for it, man. Take your time.
It just wrapped up. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Good to have you.
Yeah, you too.
And we're just giving it a couple minutes here. Our boy Sean is give him the day off, right? Watching that game. His Ohio team is playing right now. So I'll be
I totally forgot about that.
manning the ship right now. You're like, oh man, the game's on. I'm gonna shut this thing off and go watch.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, why am I here? I should be watching the game.
Right on. And we got Marie. How you doing? I got you muted.
Hold on, I gotta figure this out on my phone. I've never really used Zoom I've never really used this on my phone. I'm eating dinner. I'm doing
you're
great.
good. Looks yummy.
Yeah.
It looks like roast beef.
It's skirt steak on my salad.
Oh.
I just threw it together real quick so that I can not be late.
Right on, right on. No, you're good.
She did that for you, Roger.
I know. I'm loving it. Thank you. Thank you.
My kids look a little bit more organized. See? Steak,
Uh,
green bean salad. Mine's just a hot mess.
All right. Who else do we
I'm
have?
glad we have you, even though Sean's MIA, huh? He's watching his game.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just literally to the last minute. He was like, he's a trooper. We were on meetings all morning, going through some things, and right now I was like, all right, man, it's your team. Go for it. You know, we got to back each other up. So
Liz is not going to be on the call either. She grew up in Ohio, so apparently she said they literally like inject you with hormones when you're a kid or something, so you have to watch the football games. I don't know.
man, all right.
Brooke, what's up, Brooke?
Good to see you.
Brooke. Hi.
And Bill.
Awesome. Welcome, Brooke.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna stop my video now so you don't have to watch me shovel food in my mouth.
Thank goodness.
All right, guys, we're just getting a couple more minutes, guys, a couple more people pinging us, hopping on,
Unless you want to
and
say
then
hi.
we will kick this off.
So I shut the video. They can't see me. Oh, they can probably still hear me though.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey guys, I wanted to tell you about a site that I just discovered a little while ago while I was looking for new keywords. Thought you might like it. It's called answerthepublic.com.
Hey.
That's actually an excellent resource. We've actually talked about that one
Okay.
on these calls, but I'm glad you
cool.
bring it up. It's something we keep in front of people all the time. So keep that. That's a resource you need. And actually for today's conversation, that actually might be a resource we talk about just a little bit. So excellent bringing that up.
What was that name again?
Answerthepublic.com.
Thank
I'll
you.
put it in the chat.
And so next got brought up here at the beginning. We'll touch on that for sure. That's actually a very, very good resource. All right, guys, I think we are good to go. We'll let people pop in here slowly. Today's call, I'm going to try to jump into it pretty quick because I do have a little bit of a loaded kind of schedule for us today. There's a lot of information. So what I want to do with this particular call, I'm going to treat it a lot like a tutorial, okay? Because a lot of times we jump on here and we talk a lot of theory, obviously to kind of educate you guys, get you guys moving on what you need to do, right? But sometimes there's a need for more step by step. And I've been getting some emails, and that's what brought me when Sean was going to be not on this call, and we're trying to decide what to talk about. That way we don't get into a series that needs to go on. We need Sean on here. I took the opportunity to kind of look at some of the emails, some of the support stuff that's coming through, some of the questions. And I thought today's conversation would best be geared more towards a tutorial on how to. And in reality, and my expertise on the SEO side, I want to make sure that we continue pushing that SEO factor on your websites, right? That awareness. So I'm going to pose, before we get started, I'm going to pose a challenge. So I'm going to go through three very important tasks that everybody on this call, no matter what industry you're on, should be trying to test on your SEO pages. What I mean by your SEO pages, those are either your location pages or your service pages, right? So if you're, I know we do have a heavy side on the real estate investor side. So if you're a real estate investor, it's very easy. It's your location pages, right? And then if you're anything else, a service-based company, whether it be like Jane, where she does, services for coaching, then it would be one of those service pages. Okay. So we're going to learn how to optimize. There's going to be three things I want you guys to do. And the challenge here is not only to apply these three tasks, but before you even start, I want you guys to check where you stand within a keyword. And if we can't even answer that, then that might be the first step, right? Make sure that you have an actual keyword that you're trying to optimize for a particular page. Then you apply these three steps. So that's going to be our essentially kind of our start on how we're going to handle this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is share my screen because I'm going to use an example. And here, let me go ahead and share my screen really quick. And earlier today, I was on a call with Mickey and her partner, Aiza, and we're talking about other things. They are great. They're in the DC area. My family is going to be moving to the DC area here in the near future in July. So I was talking about them for some help, some real estate help. So they did a great job on that. I appreciate that, guys. But while I was on the call, I asked permission to be able to use them as an example, and they gave me the thumbs up. So we're going to be using their particular website, but I will kind of stop. And if you're a service-based company, I'll kind of explain how this works for you. This just happens to be real estate investor company, easy to go look at it. But for some of you other non-real estate, we'll make sure that we cover what that looks like for you guys. So the first thing that we're going to do is kind of look at a website. And what I want you guys to do is look at your particular websites that you have. If you have something in development, take notes, because you're going to have to apply these things later once you go live with your project. So the first thing we're going to do is look at our locations page here. If you're service-based, look at your services, right? Very simple. And then whatever that means for you, if you're service-based, it would be here. But for this example, we were actually talking to the location that I'm interested in buying a house. My family is in Montgomery County right here, Maryland, right? This is what we're looking at. So the first thing I'm going to kind of caution all of you guys is intent. Look at this is the first place you want to look at, because right away this caught my attention as I was having as the customer for this company, these Aiken developers. As I was having the conversation, it just sparked a question for me. I was not looking at Montgomery County. I was looking at Silver Springs. So we're missing something. Some of you guys might think, right? Hey, I cover Montgomery County or whatever counties or just in general, right? But us, the client, we might be looking for something else. So if you notice here, Silver Springs lands within Montgomery County, but we don't have Silver Springs here, which means I would never have found this company at all if I was kind of searching under one area. So keep that in mind. I want to throw that in there because a lot of us, I know we start you with about 6 to 9 cities, but something as you grow, because this is kind of that mentality of it never ends. You're always growing. Always kind of be asking when you're on conversations with clients what they're looking for. In this case, for Mickey and her team, we might take this as a lesson. They might want to request that we create a Silver Springs page, or if they have other areas where they're very active and it doesn't exist here, we might want to do that, because I noticed that there's another county here as well. Are we missing anything? Are people actually searching for that? So that's number one. But we'll kind of stick with the Montgomery County here, Maryland. And what we're trying to do here, the first one we're trying to do is we're trying to get this ranked. Say this is all. We're going to focus on this one. And the first thing that we need to do is make sure if you're in that area, then it doesn't affect you. But for me, I got to make sure that I fake Google here and I tell them that I am in that area. So I already did that with my geo locator here. Boom, put myself there. So the first thing I want to do I even exist in the rankings for this keyword? We buy houses, Montgomery County. So that would be your first task, whether you rank for it or not. I haven't checked this one yet. So we're going to see where we stand. We buy houses, because that's one of the keywords we want to rank for. Phil, Jane, just a couple of the people I know you guys are more service-based. Look at one of your service-based pages. Look at the keyword that you might want to rank for and do the search, right? You want to see if you even appear. And keep in mind, don't just look at page 1 or 2. You're probably not there. You got to look page 5, 6, 7, right? Just to kind of see where you stand. For this particular one, we're just going to go down the line and see if we find Aiken Homes at all, right? Because what happens here, this starts telling you your how competitive that particular market is and how competitive you are in that ranking query, right? In that search. So we can already see that aikendev.com, Aiken Developers, is ranking on page 2. That's awesome. This is just out of the gate. Mickey, correct me if I'm wrong, but there hasn't been anything really done outside of us building the website, optimizing it out of the gate and out of the box. This is what the website has done for you. Basically ranked you up to page 2. So what it's telling me now, us, and this is you guys analyzing your own websites, this is telling me that a well-optimized website, well-structured website can only get you so far for this query, okay? So for this example, it got her to page 2, and it's pretty good. It's on position 3, page 2. But I always talk the golden spots. The golden positions are page 1, position 1, 2, or 3. That's where the conversions happen. If you can get yourself up there, that's when the magic starts happening. More people tend to click up there. So how do we get there? If Mickey does nothing, and I know we've worked with JP on a number of these things and just kind of saw the needle move, but in this case, we're talking about Mickey and her company with Aiken Dev. What can she do? If she does nothing, and when I talk to her 6 months from now, that position will not move. If anything, it might go down or up just a couple spots, but not a whole lot. So she needs to start thinking, what do I need to do to move the needle, right? Move the needle up. And what she's going to do, this is basically where we're going to get into 3 things. I only want Mickey to do 3 things and then look at them for the next 2-3 weeks and see the needle move. This is almost a guaranteed boost. Am I guaranteeing that you guys will be ranking on position 1, 2, or 3? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is I'm going to give you some tips that will move you possibly, in this case, Mickey and Aiken Dev, from position 3 to probably page 1, somewhere down here. I can almost guarantee that she'll be right here competing for these spots. Now, what does that do? This moves these guys out of the way. So if you ever thought of yourself when you start ranking, really competing and really wondering, well, I'm ranking, but I'm no longer ranking. I've gotten some emails that say, hey, I'm dropping in the rankings. Why? And they think it's the website. No, guys, it's your competition. It's Mickey doing what she needs to do to rank higher and pushing these guys down. And then these guys going to their agencies or their marketing teams and saying, why are we dropping? Well, because the competition's starting to do stuff, right? So it's up to you guys to move that needle, okay? So the first thing I would recommend for Mickey to do here with her website is go to the website. We have it here, right? And we go to the actual location. This is the keyword we optimize for. And keep in mind, we're only looking at one keyword. You guys, one page can rank for multiple keywords, right? Another keyword she's optimized for sell your house fast, sell my house fast, all those. But right now, I want you guys to challenge yourselves so you can move the needle for one keyword. In this case, we're doing We Buy Houses Montgomery County, Maryland, right? That's basically what we're trying to optimize for. So the first thing that I'm going to show you guys is how to utilize a tool that we use here at Top Results that does geotagging. And I've already kind of showed this little trick to some of our clients, not everybody. So I thought I'd share it here publicly with all of you guys so you guys can do this. It is a little bit of work, but it's not super hard. Okay. So that particular tool has a very unique name. So I'll have to put it in the notes here. I'm going to take it tool.geoimgr.com. I'm going to go ahead and take this link. I'm going to go to the notes so everybody has access to this. All right, guys, so I put it in the notes there. Make sure you save that. And then this particular one, what does this even do? I want to kind of spend a little bit of time talking, what does this tool do and why is it beneficial to you? So number one is if we go back to this website, we developed this website. We're very familiar with what's going on here, but you got to understand if you're at the foundations level with Top Results Consulting, there's so much we can do for the setup fee and $97 a month, right? We can get you in the race. I've talked a lot about that, but there's some advanced things that take time, that take some effort that we put into our accelerator and dominator packages, right? And so higher end packages. So I'm going to show you what we actually do and you can do this yourself. And then we'll even, as your support team, we'll even implement it for you. I just need you guys to do these tasks and then send them into support, and then we will implement them for you. So what I'm talking about is these images, all of them, anything that's relevant to that city, right? Montgomery County, anything that they can take that's related to Montgomery County, even if they did a project like this particular photo, if that was one of their projects that they did, a remodel or whatnot, and this was the kitchen, we can even geotag that to the actual address. Okay, so all that stuff, as you scroll down, I pretty much had a lot to do with this design as purpose. It gives you a lot of opportunities to add images. So all these images here could essentially be geotagged. So what that is baking in, basically adding small little code into each one of these images, telling Google this image was taken in Montgomery County. And if you do that, that's one more checkbox in your SEO list that you check to tell Google where this page is talking about, what geolocation is it talking about. So we'll go ahead and do an example here. I will right click here. Not sure if you guys can see this open, but it's okay. I'm gonna see here, take this one, save image, and we will example 101. So it's easy on my desktop. Downloads. So all I did here is kind of save it to my downloads for now, just so I can use. So I took this kitchen, right? And let's just say this was done in Montgomery County, Maryland. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my geotagging tool, and you guys now have that link. You'd go here. This has two options. It has the free version and it has the paid version. What's the difference? If I have the paid version, which I do, this is my code for it, then I can just drop in an address and boom, it tags it. But if I have the free version, I have to put a little bit of effort. Since you guys have the free version, we will actually do the free way of doing this. So I'm going to drop in the image there. It's the kitchen. So now the free version, what I mean by adding a little bit of effort, we might have to do something like, see here, Maryland, USA, and it's asking me for a paid. So what I have to do here, let me get rid of this, cancel. I have to move this little geotag and I have to zoom in. See what I'm doing? I can actually move it anywhere. So I'll zoom in a little more, move it around. Virginia. Somewhere around there, right? And then you start just zooming in or out or whatnot, and try to kind of locate, just kind of making a point here, right? So I'm going to move it this way because I think somewhere over here. And just for example purposes, right? This is what you would do. You keep playing with this, zooming in and out till you get it somewhere. Here we go. Boom. Where you need it to be. Rockville, we're getting very close, very close. So we're going to move this to somewhere. I know it's Bethesda, somewhere right here. I think Silver Springs, Montgomery County is located somewhere right here. So say this was it, just so we don't waste more time here. This would, but if you pay a little bit of money, I believe it's $15 a month that we pay, and you actually get the code that goes here, then you can just drop in an address, an actual address here, and it will bake in the actual address of that location, telling pretty much Google exactly where you're at. In this case, we're just going to eyeball it since this is a free version. Once you have this, you see these coordinates, latitude, longitude, right here. It's basically baking that in. So we are good here, existing Google tags, no, and then click here, boom, it's baked in. So when I click to here, it basically put it into our document here, and then we can download it at that point. I'm gonna go ahead and hit download, and it has it right here. So I'll bring it up, boom, it's right here, but it's not named. Once you have it geotagged, what you want to do here is then put your keyword. We buy houses, oops. And what was this? Save. All right, so I basically named my file with the We Buy Houses, Montgomery County, Maryland. So now you have that saved, you have it geotagged. Now you can pretty much add all your photos, send them into support, and just tell them where those photos at. Take your time. Do one at a time, do two at a time, doesn't matter. If you can geotag your photos, as you can see, it's a little bit of a tedious process. Why? We don't add it in our foundations, but very powerful, and you can do it and send it into support, and we'll support you in adding them. We just don't do this particular task for you because you would have to do, my recommendation is to go through each one of these photos and geotag them, the ones that are appropriate, the ones that are actually from your area. Even better is if you had images of your projects that we can add on here, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about outside of real estate investors, more for Jane, Phil, and anybody else that's on the call that's more service-based.
Can I ask
Jane,
you a
this
quick
could be
question?
something, go ahead.
Sorry, it's Marie.
That's
If I know the lat long for a particular address for like a property, for instance, just from Google Maps or whatever, can I just input that back on that website that you had?
Yep,
Okay,
absolutely.
you can manually put it in.
Yep,
Perfect.
you can manually put them on if you have them.
Thanks.
Absolutely. And now going back to someone like Jane, let's talk, Jane, if she has images of her working with the client, or maybe Jane, if you want to do a stock image that you find on, on some free image download platform, then geotag it, right? With your location. Now, it doesn't have to be your home. It can be general. As you can see, we went general here, just either Washington, in your case, I believe Texas. You do somewhere, make sure it's a city that you do business in. The point being is you want to make sure that Google understands that the pictures were taken in this general location. That way it kind of associates everything together. So that is the first pretty much task that I have for you guys. Once you have your images, send in an email to support at Top Results. Once you have them geotagged, and let them know, I geotagged these images. Can you add them to my website, right? And then the more specific you are, the easier it's for the team. So if you tell them, hey, my header, or name the whatever the title is next to the picture, or even screenshot of where they need to change it out for you. And then once we add that, boom, you've geotagged your entire page. Now Google knows that the images are related to your content. Right now, just to be 100% honest, Google's going off of the content, but the images are not helping at all. Because once again, we just don't do this at the foundation level or our packages. But now if Mickey goes back with their team and does this, boom, we just checked another box, advanced box. Now we geotagged everything. So before I move on to number 2 tip, let's see if there's any more questions, because this one is a little complex. So let's go ahead.
Yeah,
Steve, go ahead.
The question I have is, do those images also have alt tags, and do those come into play with your rankings too?
Absolutely. So what we try to do for you is, once you provide those images, we pretty much that's why the naming convention of the actual file is important, because we'll copy that. And if there's anything that we see as a kind of like a benefit that we can add, help you out, then we do it. It's just easy. Once you provide these files, it's easier for us to do the alt text and really see where you're heading. But in most cases, we'll just do them for you. Yeah.
If our website is still being developed, is this something that they'll go through in the walkthrough process of implementing it?
So if your website is being developed, this is something that it's noted for after it's live. Don't worry on doing, because this could hold up. As you can see, it's super tedious, right? So this can essentially hold up your website going live, which the most important part, it takes a couple of weeks for the website to even get indexed. So a big thing to kind of keep in mind is, number 1, let's get that website live. Number 2, let's start optimizing as we go.
Okay, Roger.
Yes.
So I'm going to get some free stock pictures, because I don't have any pictures of me coaching, and I'm not going to know if they were taken here in Texas. But I'm going to geotag them to Texas.
Absolutely. That's Google's a robot, so it doesn't know. You have to tell, even though Google's very smart and it's run by very, very smart engineers and everything, what you need to do, you still need to tell Google where you are, right? And this is the data that they use to be able to kind of identify where you're located, along with all the content and everything. I'm just giving you guys some advanced steps that you can do, and this geotag will now tell them even more. You give them more data to know about this page.
Okay.
All right, Roger.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at my Vidal Gonzalez site. I have some blog articles, because I don't really have any pictures of, real estate or myself or anything on there. So would I do it on a logo, or would I just do it on my blog articles? Is that what you're talking about more?
Forget about the blogs for now. Let's focus on, say, very specific, like for your particular service. It would be one like the real estate. Let's talk about the real estate one, because you have that service, right? And you probably want that one to rank pretty well. Now, what you need to look at is, if there's no specific images on that page right now that speak to the real estate side. And when I'm talking about not maybe a house, in your case, you're a coach, you're basically pitching the coach side of things. So if it's you working with somebody, or maybe even one of your personalized images, you still want to geotag that with Austin, right? Texas. San Antonio, Texas. So that way they know that picture was taken there. Because right now we add pictures of you. Great. They're the file name has your name on it. That's great. But it's random. It's not telling Google where it's at. So the more geolocation information we can provide Google, it can kind of start identifying you and ranking you in those queries in that area. That's what we're trying to shoot for here.
For example, I mean, I'm looking at it like what to expect on real estate training, for example, on my site, and there's a YouTube video.
Mhm.
That's that. And then I have a picture of about the instructor, that picture. I don't know. So I download that picture.
That picture, we'll start with that just to keep it simple for you, Vidal. That would be one to practice with. And then I would encourage you to, next time you have an opportunity to sit down with somebody that you're helping out, or maybe one of those staging photos that you do in your office, somebody taking it and then doing that and adding a couple more pictures that are geotagged to your location.
So like these, don't worry about these. Just do it. I'll send new ones to you.
If you send new ones, probably better. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That'll work.
Yeah. And one of the main things that I want you guys to take away from this is just the task, the geotag. Maybe you're confused on how this works. I would rather you learn how to geotag and me continue to educate around this, how to best utilize this method, than getting stuck on like right now, we're still trying to identify for Vidal exactly how to utilize them, right? Vidal, I'd rather you practice in getting geotagged and get really good, and then we can guide you a little further on how to utilize those images on that website. Go ahead, Phil.
If I'm nationwide, how does geotag help, or how should I geotag?
So nationwide, yours is a little unique, right? Because you can't geotag nationwide. You have to pick a location. So every company, no matter if they're nationwide or local, they're still located somewhere, right? You still have to start somewhere. So it's more getting to know Phil and where you're from, and then you and your content. You talk about nationwide, how you help anybody in the country on your stuff, but we want to kind of see where you're located. Where are you from? Let's get to know you. And that's basically what we're looking for your particular, because service-based. So that's a great question.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Any more questions around the geotagging tool? Just kind of looking around here, see if there's any hands. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The next one, we've been talking actually quite a bit here and there on some of these calls. I know on our podcast, Sean and I touched on this, is YouTube, right? Video. Now, part of the challenge here is to implement. So video, I want you guys to kind of, once again, pick one page. I don't want you to look at your entire site. I want you to pick one service or one location page, and we're going to add a video if you don't have one already. And if you do have one on that page, what I want you guys to do is then kind of listen to the next steps on how you're going to optimize that video. Okay. So first things first, let's go back to Mickey's website here, Aiken Developers, and we're going to scroll down and we're going to notice really quick that there is no video here. And we already know that video is huge, right? Video is huge. We also know that Mickey's been doing a lot of videos. We're all in the group, so we see a lot of stuff that's going on. But Mickey does not have a specific video that's geared towards We Buy Houses in Montgomery County embedded on this page, which means she hasn't taken the advantage of what she's doing naturally to boost this particular page. And not even that, boost this particular keyword, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to teach Mickey and everybody else on this call how she's going to do this, okay? So number one is you're going to have to create a video. For you real estate investors, I'm going to make it super simple. You're going to go to YouTube. And I'm going to give you a script if you need a script, all right? So We Buy Houses Charlotte, NC. And I'm just kind of guiding you guys here so you have a script to go off of. We Buy Houses Charlotte, NC. This just happens to be one of our clients right here. We Buy Houses Charlotte, NC. Click on this video, Maverick Property Group. Use it, guys. Let me pause this. All right. So if everybody is watching this, say you find a better script. This just happens to be ours. You can adjust it to your needs, whatever you need. How do you even get this script? You go here, the three little dots, and then open transcript. And what I want you guys to do is hit the next three little dots here and toggle timestamps so it takes the timestamps off. Then you're going to go and copy this entire transcript, put it on a Word doc, put it on a Google Doc, I don't care, wherever it's comfortable for you, and then adjust it to your needs, to your company, okay? That's going to be the starting point. I'm trying to make this extremely easy for you guys. Do that, and then your next step, once you have a script, Then you need to find somebody to create a short 1-minute video. That's it. That's all it has to do. I don't care how cheap it is, how cheesy it is. Doesn't matter. Go to Fiverr, do what you have to do to get a video. This is the challenge, right? Get a video with that script talking about your company. So that's going to be for you guys. Now, for those of you that are comfortable speaking in front of the camera, I want you to take away the professional backgrounds and everything. Don't matter. Don't stress yourself out. Go outside, get someone to get in their phones and record you and read off that script that I just gave you, right? Even if it's a little shorter, doesn't matter. Here we're challenging the algorithm. I'm trying to kind of make a point for you guys that even the little bit that you do, the needle will move. So I need a video on these pages. So in this case, you can either go to Fiverr and get something done like this. You can try to find a better deal. The important thing is this person's going to need a script, and you're going to, if you get it within a minute, they're pretty, decent. We are going to throw an offer here. Don't feel like I'm not trying to sell you here. I'm just trying to give you resources, right? We actually have a system set up with the script. Sean will do the voiceover, everything, but ours are pretty pricey. We're doing $100 and we can do everything on this video for you, including the optimization, the next step. But once again, guys, you can do this yourself. This can be very affordable. It just takes a little bit of time. Okay. So what are you going to do once you have your script? Once you have your video, next step is to optimize. So you're going to have to, if you don't have a YouTube channel, go ahead and get one, upload this video on there. And then this is going to be extremely important, because if you have videos and you do not optimize them, they're not going to work for this task or this particular tip that I'm giving you here. So your next step is to, as you go through the process of uploading the video, you're going to geotag it. You can actually put a geotag inside of YouTube for your video. So here we did Charlotte because that's the page we were shooting for, right? So for your locations, you're going to have to put your location. To Phil's question earlier about the geotagging for the images, same deal. It's okay if you'll still geotag it for where you're located. We're trying to tell Google about us, even though we do nationwide. Just tell them where you're located. And then your keyword needs to be in the title. Keyword must be in the title. So in this case, we were going after Charlotte. If we're doing Aiken Dev here, we would be doing We Buy House in Montgomery County, MD. Okay. And you need the MD because that's a very specific keyword. Okay. So you would put that in the title, boom. And then once again, trying to make this just extremely simple, copy this, adjust it a little bit. Just a little bit, make a couple adjustments, something that makes fit, whatnot, just copy it. And then put a link back to the appropriate page. Here, we're linking to the Charlotte page. For Mickey and her team, they'll be linking to here. If you're wondering where you're gonna get this link, go to the navigation bar here, boom, or I'm sorry, the address bar, and copy this. This is exactly what you need. Now, don't try to type it out. This is the biggest mistake I see. People is like, all right, I see what I have to type out. Don't do that. Highlight it and copy it. Then bring it to your YouTube channel when you're putting in the description and put it, because then it automatically makes it a hyperlink. And not only that, it adds this right here, HTTPS, for all this information, right? That's what you need. You need it to be a hyperlink. You don't need it to be text. So make sure it's a hyperlink. You have everything in here. You have your phone number, and you add the keyword in here. If you do make major adjustments to this, make sure you're doing it 2 or 3 times. Keyword, I need to be 2 or 3 times in the content here. Once you've done that, you're ready for the next step. You're ready to embed this particular video on your page. How do you do that? Here, share. And if I'm going a little fast, don't worry about it because it's recorded. You guys will be able to go back. I'm making this like a tutorial. That way you guys can go back and watch this. So here, you're going to go to share and embed right here, embed. This little code, you're going to copy it, and that you're going to send to support at Top Results Consulting. Our team will then add it to your website. Somewhere on your, we'll look for a good spot for it. And basically what that's going to look like, we'll show you what that looks like on Maverick Property Group. If we click on their location page here, we'll scroll down. Here's the video. We just embedded it within the content itself. See how it's right here, boom. That right there is going to give it another boost. You checked another advanced SEO pretty much box for our strategy. This is important because these videos begin to rank not only on YouTube, but if it's a low competition keyword that we're trying to optimize for, that video will also rank on Google, and it will help your pages rank as well. So that is where we're at with the task number 2. Keep in mind, we're only doing one page. This is a challenge. I want to see next week that some of you, hopefully all of you guys took advantage of this and did something. Don't worry about the video. This is just kind of a test. You can always go back and put a better video. The key here is that let's see the needle move. Nikki, I want her to be hopefully on bottom of page 1 because she did these tasks, right? So we'll be kind of looking at what her and her team does in regards to creating those geotags and also that video. So I'll stop there once again, see if there's any question in regards to optimizing or how to find certain information for the YouTube optimization for the video.
This is Karen. I do have a question. So if you're offering different services on different pages, you can have more than one geotag that's linking back and forth if I put both of the service pages that complement each other in the content message. Is that correct? Am I thinking about that correctly?
You are. So let's go back to geo, because that's a good question. Geotagging, right? So
Right.
if you're, Karen, if you're offering services and you're located, in this case, I'm talking about Maryland, so Silver Springs, most of your images are going to be geotagged. No matter all your services across the board will be geotagged as Silver Springs because that's where you're personally located. That is actually okay. How you name your file, right? The image file is what's going to matter. Then you can change kind of like what that image is about or a keyword you're trying to optimize for. But the geotag part, for most of you guys are located in one place. So all of them will be geotagged as one location. For real estate investors, just an example here, you have multiple locations. So that means you have more work to do than the service-based people, right? Because these guys have to geotag each city or each location page. Does that make sense,
Right.
Karen?
So if with me being tri-state, right? New Jersey, PA, New York, right? And
Correct.
I want to make sure all three are optimized. I have to do the same thing for every service page to link them back to one another, but I must geotag them for all of those locations. Am I correct?
That is correct. Now,
Okay, because I want to link them back because the services all complement each other. Because for me, my financial services complement my real estate services. And so I'm looking at putting and establishing pages for each, but in my content, I should be able to mention both keywords to go back and forth to get the most optimization from the geotag. Correct?
Now, let's be clear, because I think right now you're talking about interlinking the websites, which is absolutely great that you do want.
Yes.
But the geotag is just the images themselves, right? So
Right,
those
but
don't
for the
interlink.
services, I can, so for example, I have a rehab that I did. If I was to put a picture of that rehab and geotagged it, and then in the content talk about the real estate piece or funding piece, it does kind of link back to each other. I get the benefit of both. No?
Boom. Yes, you nailed it. You just went one step further. So the
Okay.
first part of your comment there, you nailed the geotag. You geotagged that particular, rehab, boom, with where
Right.
it's located, right? You did that. That's what I'm talking about right now, keeping it simple. You went one
Okay.
step further because in the content, now you're talking about a loan or whatnot, and you're finding an
Absolutely.
opportunity to hyperlink to either your loan website or an internal page that's related, maybe
It
a
would
blog
be an
post, which is
internal
actually
page, right?
Yep.
Correct.
which is
And
actually
therefore-
my other tip that I have. That's the next tip, actually. So hold that thought, actually, because
Sorry.
that's actually the next step.
Okay.
All good. So let's go kind of make sure that we covered everybody in regards to the YouTube
On the
videos, though. Before we move on to content, how we interlink the content, is there any questions in regards to how we did this here? What you need to do here?
Where'd you get the geo thing for the YouTube? I didn't see that. Did I miss it? Or did you put it in the geo
Yeah, as you upload, Vidal, as you upload a video to YouTube, it gives you a whole form that you fill out, right? A lot of information. One of those steps, it's asking you, do you want to geotag this video?
Oh,
All you do is kind of put your location.
okay. So I probably just passed that by. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Any other I see Jane. Jane, you have your hand up?
Yeah, so for the transcript part, am I going to go to other people's coaching videos and get their transcript off?
That's what I would recommend for those of you that are in other industries, even real estate. Maybe you find a better script, right? I'm just showing you guys how to. This is a hack. This is something that's it's underutilized because YouTube literally gives you what they're saying. And the great thing about this, that most of these scripts aren't being utilized as content, like written content on a website, actual content on a website. They're only being used as voice, right? So you can take this script and manipulate it to what you need, and it still works.
Wow.
So that's why I'm showing this hack, because it's an easy way for you to collect free content that you can start with. So for you, Jane, you're not real estate. You're basically other, it's a coaching. So go find a good coach that you might follow. Look for one of their videos that you might like that's talking to somewhat what you want. Take that script and see how you can manipulate it. But sometimes it's hard to kind of listen to it. You're like, yeah, I want that, but then you don't know how to get the content. So this task is basically how to get that content.
Oh, that's so good.
All right. Cool,
you
guys.
mentioned-
Any other questions in regards to YouTube?
You mentioned making sure in the description that it hyperlinks instead of just rolls out normal print. How do you get it to hyperlink there?
Absolutely. So here, when you're setting up your video inside of YouTube and you're going through those steps, right? You're going to be asked a bunch of questions. When you get to the portion where it says a description, put in your description, you're going to drop this in. And what I want you guys to do is go to your page. And in this case, we're doing Montgomery County, Maryland. Copy it from here, right? I'm just doing Command C. I'm on a Mac. So whatever it is on your computer, if you're on a PC, Command C for copy. And then when you're inside of YouTube, right, in that box that they give you, drop it in, paste it in there, and it will automatically be a hyperlink. The mistake that I see, once again, Jordan, the mistake I see is people try to type it in when they're putting in their content. They try to type it in. Well, it's not hyperlinked. So that's the easiest way I can kind of explain to be able to get the hyperlink in there.
Yeah, that's what I did. I'm not sure if it's hyperlinking or not. So I'll mess around with it a little bit. Thank you for that.
And one of them, and I saw Lorraine is in here. One of the things that we gave, Lorraine did an amazing job with her interview that she did with one of her colleagues. Everything came out good. And what we noticed, it was exactly that. We needed her to kind of request that they hyperlink. They put a link to her website, but it was not hyperlinked, which defeats the purpose of Google knowing that that's where it's going. So making it a hyperlink, Google follows links, right? That's what it's following. So if it wasn't a hyperlink, it was just text, it just looks at it as text. But if it's a hyperlink, it actually follows that to see related content. And that's how we create that ecosystem around your brand. It needs to be hyperlinked. Good? All right, guys. And then we are about to approach our final task here, our final kind of challenge, piece of the challenge, which is finding opportunities within our content, whether it's our existing content or maybe there's other content we can find or write about. Maybe this is where we find our ideas. And we go back to the example that was mentioned at the beginning by Stephen with answerthepublic.com. But now it's how can we interlink our content? How can, in other words, what I mean by that is, are there opportunities where we can give our visitors kind of more information about this content? When someone reads, and I know you guys are extremely familiar, if you don't know, you'll know what I talk about. When you read content online, there's a lot of hyperlinks. A lot of these words are hyperlinked to another page, another resource, right? Because it might be maybe a hard word to understand. So the person has written a blog post to explain that particular word. So what you want to do here is, first of all, read through your content and then go to your blog. That would be my first step for you guys. And see if there's any opportunities, that you guys have that you can interlink one of these blog posts, basically one of these blog posts that you can interlink to that particular location page. For example, if you're talking about, I don't know, let's see, 5 reasons. make it easy because that way I have a good example here. Say we're talking about bankruptcy, and you had a blog post that talks about how to deal with bankruptcy in that particular location. Then you would go to your Montgomery page here, Montgomery County, and then an easy way for your real estate investors. Other people might be a little more challenged. Here, you would hyperlink. Where is it at? Retirement bankruptcy right here. You'd hyperlink this word to that blog post, right? You can request that as long as the content exists. Now, if Mickey looks through her content, she's like, I have nothing that talks about bankruptcy on my website. So that's an opportunity for her to write a blog about bankruptcy and then send it into support, add it to my blogs, and then hyperlink it basically to one of my be specific to my Montgomery County location page, and we'll know exactly what to do. We'll even try to find other opportunities within the content that you might mention bankruptcy, how you help people in bankruptcy, and hyperlink there as well. So the rule of thumb, I like to have at least on our advanced kind of clients, I like to have at least 3 internal links. The more, the better, because you're giving more information, right? But for now, I like to do rule of 3. For you guys to challenge, I just want 1. I just want you guys to get used to the process. So for next week, challenge yourself. If you can find something within your blog post that you can hyperlink from somewhere. For Jane, Phil, other, those of you that are doing service space, even Karen, right? You have your loan website. Look at your service pages and see, maybe you need to write some blogs about a certain topic, right? That we can hyperlink. And your goal should be to have at least 3, right? But for this challenge, once again, just 1. If you guys can do 1, then you'll figure out how to do it, and then you can add more slowly. But that's basically how we interlink. We do our interlink. And what does that look like? Then we come down here and we look at, an existing client that's doing this very well. Obviously, we're doing it for them. That's why it's working so well. But we'll go through this and you can see all this highlighted stuff right here. We're interlinking to the home page. If you scroll down, we even link to external websites. So if I know you guys probably can't see what's appearing, the hyperlink, but this is going to the .gov website, basically a website that's giving some data about this particular location, right? Why is it a hot market? And then for the blogs, how we're utilizing the blogs here is down here. So we're writing content and we're hyperlinking, do you owe taxes, right? In this particular case, we redirect to a set of blog posts that talk about this because we have multiple blog posts for that. And as you kind of hover over some of these foreclosure, we have a number of foreclosure blogs talking about this particular location. So we have them all on there, but they are a dominator. So we're putting 8 blogs per month on their websites, which means there's plenty of content for us to play around and pretty much utilize for different locations and interlink like crazy, right? For you guys that are on foundations, you don't have that benefit. So what you have to do is look for opportunities and send them in because we will help you interlink. We just need you guys to create these blogs and guide us. All right, I created this blog and this was my intention. I want to interlink with one of my location pages. So that is another good way because those count as links. So one of the biggest ranking factors that's out there right now, no matter what you look up, is links, right? And a lot of people get stuck that they have to build those external links, basically other blog posts linking back, which are very powerful. We do those as well for this client. But if you don't have the budget, because sometimes it's expensive to do that, and you just need to go off of what you have, this right here is your alternative, interlinking your own content within your website. So I'll stop there, see if there's any questions with the interlinking task. Mickey.
Yes, I was wondering because I have done case studies and can I interlink with my case studies or is it just the blogs?
Oh, case study, any other page, any pages that make sense. For example, say you had a case study, and since I'm not looking at it right now, give me an example of what you're thinking right now, and maybe we can use that as an example here.
Crack foundations. So if you go in case studies, you'll see.
So we're going to go to case studies here. She has a couple of them here. All right, so we have, where's the?
At the bottom, horizontal cracks in foundation.
Absolutely. Great example here. It's a general, it's not really, if we click, let's go ahead and click on here, but this isn't saying horizontal cracks and foundation in, Silver Springs, right? It's not very specific, but if she geotags this somewhere in the Maryland area, somewhere in Virginia, right, where she does business, then it knows that she's located there. Now she can take this hyperlink and go to any of her location pages, maybe all of them, right? Maybe all of them. But what she has to do is now find an opportunity where she's talking about that. Hey, if you have a rundown home that has cracks in the foundation, right? And boom, boom, boom. Well, the cracks in the foundation is where we do the hyperlink back to that case study.
So
That makes
on
sense?
the case study, I also have a video. So then it means that the video needs to hyperlink to, let's see. No, I actually turned this one into a blog also. So if you go into blog, it's there and has a video in the blog.
Got it. Let's look at that one, because that's actually, that's going to give me a good segue
This one
to
is,
an
it's
example.
the first one. A crack in your house, don't panic.
Okay. So we're going to see if this was done correctly. We're going to check some things out. So we have images. We have great images here. These can be, you can go back and geotag these. You can actually do these steps that I just gave you to improve the ranking of this particular blog post. We keep going. These are great. And then video, boom. Let's test, see if this is set up right. If not, we can kind of give you some guidance. Let's go back to YouTube. Let's pause this. I'm more interested in the actual title. A cracked in your basement, don't panic. Can we improve that? It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good, but you got to look at intention, right? Sometimes we look at these titles and we're like, all right, cool. But a good practice, I don't think we have enough time to go through this task right here, but a good practice, look on YouTube. What are other people writing about this content? How are their titles, right? How are their titles? Is it the same as yours? And you'll see a trend. What you're looking for is the trend. What is YouTube awarding? That's your first step, right? See if you can improve that title, number one, based on your intent. Your intent's to show people about those cracked foundations. Number two, we're going to go to the description. So let's check this out. I would increase the number of words here. Try to maximize as much as you can. I know I haven't even read it, but the more you utilize of what they give you, right? I forget what the word count is or the character count is, but always try to hit the max just because it's beneficial. And then the final thing is we're going to look at the actual links. Great. I'm okay with social media links. This is where we can make some improvements. You're going to your homepage. I would actually redirect that to the case study page.
Okay.
That would be the change that I would do. So instead, for those of you that might have missed that, instead of going to her homepage, this is actually hyperlinking to her homepage for website. She would actually go to her website, go to the case study, which is this one, and she'd copy the actual case study hyperlink, the actual URL. And that's what she would use for her link here. Because now you're not just talking about, hey, this is my website. I have a case study that has great information about this topic right here. Bam. Now Google, that gives you a lot more power. That makes sense?
It goes from my blog, but the hyperlink is in the case study.
Correct. Well, whatever this is, because I think we put it on the blog now, moved it to the blog right here. So all you have to kind of really worry about, Mickey, is this the one you want to share? Basically, is this the important one? Which it is. That's where the video's at.
Yes.
If it is, then you're going to take the URL. You're going to go back to YouTube, make an edit on your description, and change this link. That's going to improve the optimization of this.
And then linked it later on to one of my locations page.
Right. Let's take it one step further because we're already taking more steps, which is fine. How can she even go further with this? Because right now we're helping out this page rank a little better, right? So one more step she can go is basically adding maybe a link because she's talking about the different places. You would have to probably add a section here, Mickey, about the locations you do business in, right? It's like, hey, we can do this and this is where we do business. Just find an excuse to add that. That way you can hyperlink this blog to your location pages. Boom. Okay. And you can literally say, hey, we've done this for many houses in these areas and just list out everywhere you do business. basically your entire locations right here. And then that one blog can then interlink to all of your locations. That makes sense?
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And that will continue to move the needle, guys. Once again, not promising are you going to be ranked number one. Some of you guys will do these tasks and you will see dramatic kind of increases. Why? Because there's low competition for that particular page. That's why I'm being very specific. Don't do it for all of them. If you have the time, do it. But I'm saying focus on one so you can test this out, practice, get the process in place, then you can, do the rest. But I want you guys to see the power of this, because Mickey, if she goes and does all these things, we'll be able to kind of share it, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, she will see the needle move. It's a guaranteed, because what you did, you optimized it. And just by me looking at kind of the competition for that keyword, it's kind of low to medium. So just with those things, I think we will see a couple moves in the needle. Because that way, go ahead.
How long does it usually take for that needle to move on some of these?
So rule of thumb, guys, usually what we do on the SEO portion, when we do tasks, we try to wait at least 21 days before we do another major kind of optimizations. So if I had to give you a number, 21 days, that's basically, and that's not coming from me, that's coming from the many thousands of SEOs out there. That's basically the rule of thumb that we use when we optimize. All right, so we have all of that on there. There's many more, guys, things that you can do, but for this particular challenge, I want to leave it to 3. So we geotag the images on a particular page. We are going to do a video. We're going to optimize that video. Go back and watch this recording so you can see exactly what you need to do. Don't worry about the quality of the video. Get whatever. If you don't know, you really want to do this and you have the budget, we can do it for you guys $100, and we'll just kind of do that whole video section for you. And then the final one, find opportunities to interlink your existing blog post to one of your location pages. That way we have some interlinking happening. And all this, once you have the assets, once you have the geotag images, the video, and then you have an idea of what content you want to interlink, send a support ticket, and my team will then help you kind of get these implemented on your websites. Okay? All right, guys. Any final questions that we have for these 3 tasks? Nope. Think we are good. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for it. I think I nailed it right on the clock. It's exactly 1 hour, guys. I'm not going to take more of your time. I appreciate you guys hopping on here. Once again, we did this like a tutorial. Hopefully this was helpful. Go back, watch it. And then next week and the following week after that, we're going to kind of be asking those of you that did these tasks and seeing how the needle is moving or not moving. Hey, you never know, right? And we want to see what else we can be doing. But those are the 3 most powerful, easy, powerful tasks I can give you. So till next week, guys, appreciate your time.
Can I make a
Go ahead.
quickly? So step
Sure.
1, geotag a pic. Step 2, geotag a video. Step 3, interlink amongst that all.
I'll say them again because I think the second one was a little gray there, Vidal. Step 1, geotag a picture. For you, service-based, right? Coaching, let's be real clear. For you, it's a little more difficult because what do you use? Use one of your images, or if you take a new image, I want you just to practice geotagging an image for your service for coaching for real estate. Just so we pick one, right? Just to do that. Number 2, a YouTube video. Geotagging the YouTube video is just one of the steps. The challenge here is to create a video talking about that service. For you, Vidal, you'd be talking about the real estate service, whatever that is, a short 1-minute little pitch. I just need I want you to upload something to YouTube. And then once you do that, you're going to go to the process. You're going to follow that, a description with your keyword, have the title, the description with the hyperlink back to the service page. And then the only portion geotag is just part of the process when you upload a video. And then the final one, do you have an existing blog post that you can interlink with that service page? Meaning if you on that service page for real estate investors that you're coaching, is there, just keep it, are you talking about foreclosure? Are you talking about whatever? Is there something in your blog that talks about foreclosure? Then interlink that. Or some kind of method or something that's associated. If not, then you just found an opportunity to write a blog.
Got it. Okay.
Makes sense.
Very good.
And that's it. And it has to be a very specific page and a very specific keyword. Remember that. That's very important. Specific page, specific keyword. All right. Any other questions?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Good stuff, Roger. Thank you. I appreciate it. Gonna
All right, guys. So I will go ahead and let you guys go. I'm gonna stay on here in case there's anybody else that wants to has any last minute questions. But it was a pleasure having you guys on. And next week, Sean and I will be back, and we'll be putting out some more valuable content. All right. See you guys later.
Roger.
Thanks, Roger.
Thank you,
You're
Roger.
welcome.
Thanks, Rod.
Bye-bye.
So does Google
Roger,
just?
oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead,
No,
Karen.
I'm sorry. Oh, Roger, I just have a question. So my site just went live. I guess it's maybe been a week and a half, right? And so right now, I just been trying to get my content developed, but there's some things I don't know